It all started with failed operations by Russian infantry under this bridge in the Donetsk region. As numerous clashes and attempts by the Russians to break through followed, destroyed equipment began to pile up like a snowball. The Ukrainian military is not just sitting in defense, but also counterattacking the Russians. Here, you can see a tank trying to clear the road of a burning IFV. The tank's shoves cause a detonation inside the vehicle. After the detonation, the Ukrainian tank rams the burning vehicle a few more times, pushing it further away to completely clear the path. Mission accomplished, the tank pulls back, leaving the infantry fighting vehicle to burn while simultaneously firing toward Russian positions. The road is now clear, and you can see Ukrainian vehicles advancing rapidly. They come under attack, but in response, they open up with heavy fire on the destroyed buildings where Russian ambushes might be hiding. Fully loaded, the vehicles move deeper into the village, targeting the tree lines where Russian troops are positioned, leaving them unable to respond due to the intense fire. With ammunition running low and the primary objective accomplished, the vehicles begin their withdrawal. Later, the Russians attempted to break through again at this narrow point, but failed, blocking the passage with a heap of wreckage. You can see how the Ukrainians have deployed engineering equipment, which, under fire, is clearing the remnants of the destroyed Russian vehicles. To hinder the Ukrainian forces, the Russians do something no one expected. They simply block the road with a fully operational tank. The crew abandons the tank and flees as far as possible. Without wasting any time, Ukrainian forces make a critical decision and dispatch their tank to the location. The crew deploys a smokescreen, and under its cover, they manage to tow the Russian tank. At the same time, artillery fire begins, but it is highly inaccurate, allowing the Ukrainians to successfully capture the tank as a trophy. Look, upon closer inspection, it's clear that the tank is in excellent condition. You could almost say it's brand new. Moreover, it's equipped with additional protection against drones. Now, it will join the ranks of equipment that will be used against its former owners. In the end, after this incident, the Russians couldn't withstand it and struck the bridge with a missile, completely destroying it. Kherson region. A Russian M1990 farm self-propelled artillery unit was spotted relocating. A Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone delivered a precise strike to its rear, igniting a fire. It looked like a scene from a new Ghost Rider movie. The unit made it to the forest, but came to a complete stop and burned out entirely. By the way, don't forget to give a like to these Ukrainian directors, so to speak, who not only carry out their tasks effectively, but also with a flair for spectacle. And now, take a look at another tense situation from the Donetsk region. Early in the morning, the Russians launched an assault, deploying at least 3 vehicles. Ukrainian artillery began to engage. You can see they used numerous smoke canisters to create smoke screens. The light infantry fighting vehicle, covered with additional protection against drones, advanced toward Ukrainian positions, leaving its group behind. The Russians were confident the road had been cleared of mines, but during the night, Ukrainian forces had placed anti-tank mines along the road. The IFV hits one mine and by inertia, strikes a second. Watch this destruction from another angle. You can also see how the pre-positioned anti-tank guided missile was triggered. The vehicle was destroyed, joining other wreckage nearby, completely blocking the road. The assault was thwarted. The remaining group members turned their vehicles around and retreated, heading back into the smoke screens from which they had so confidently emerged. The SA-13 Gopher surface-to-air missile system is moving very quickly, but the drone catches up and strikes the vehicle. At first glance, it seems like the hit caused no damage, as the vehicle continues moving and covers quite a distance. But wait, the vehicle suddenly stops and starts smoking. The crew abandons it, and moments later, the smoke turns into flames, completely destroying the vehicle. This APC was also rushing somewhere at high speed, but in this case, it was stopped by an anti-tank mine. Here we see another APC, but it's no longer moving. It has been immobilized, though not destroyed, by Ukrainian forces. A drone is now on its way to finish off the vehicle. The war is gradually returning to where it came from, and Ukrainian drones are actively contributing to this process. This IFV in the Kursk region felt it firsthand. This was a Russian IFV also in the Kursk region. After the drone strike and the massive detonation, it's hard to believe that this pile of metal was once a vehicle. After the drone strike, nothing was left of this self-propelled artillery unit. A stockpile of ammunition caused it to turn into a fireball. Another spectacular detonation. This time, the drone's victim was a Russian infantry fighting vehicle. It's safe to say the vehicle is destroyed. Just look at these impressive plumes of smoke and fire. Not only small birds, but also larger ones are in action. Ukrainian aviation is actively carrying out strikes. Here's one such strike on a Russian headquarters within Russian territory, near the border. The building was completely destroyed. By the way, this video debunks the myth of the strength and power of Russia's air defense systems. Here's another building used by the Russians. Look at that powerful explosion. It's possible that in the future, aviation may lose its relevance, with drones taking over its functions. However, for now, drones still have limitations in range, payload capacity, and the ability to execute complex combat missions. Nevertheless, drone technology continues to advance rapidly, and their role on the battlefield is growing day by day. The future sneaks up quietly, silently, and swiftly. Just yesterday, dog-like drones existed only on exhibition stands and in science fiction films. But today they have leaped off the screens and become active participants in real combat operation. Although they are not yet the machines that destroy everything in their path, their role as scouts already has a significant impact. However, the time when they can be equipped with any kind of weaponry is not far off. You've probably seen footage from the Vietnam War showing American planes dropping napalm bombs. Everything burned. Approximately 400,000 tons of napalm bombs were dropped on the dense jungles, which served as perfect cover for Viet Cong guerrilla units. A similar tactic has been actively adopted by the Ukrainian military. You can see how an FPV drone, equipped with a thermite mixture, literally incinerates Russian positions. This forces the enemy to abandon their shelters and retreat with no other option. It's a very effective solution as it doesn't require aircraft, which need complex maintenance and infrastructure, such as runways. Moreover, the drone is not an aircraft that can be shot down by air defense systems at any moment, considering its close proximity to the front line. But if the Russians manage to hide or avoid the fiery rain, they certainly won't escape the rain of bullets. You can see another innovative solution from the Ukrainian military. They have managed to mount an AK-47 on a drone. Recently, the first combat flights targeting enemy positions were carried out, and the enemy was undoubtedly very perplexed at that moment. While it is still too early to draw conclusions about the effectiveness of this modification, it can be said that it will certainly complicate the lives of Russian soldiers. But a truly new level is a grenade launcher mounted on a drone. Ukrainian forces are already testing such a system. They are studying what improvements can be made and what modifications are needed to make it work as effectively as possible. For now, the flying grenade launcher is undergoing tests in a controlled environment, but it is speculated that we may soon see its use on the battlefield. By the way, take a look at this situation. This is exactly where such a drone could come in handy. You see how the drone approaches a multiple rocket launcher system firing thermobaric shells. The drone fails to destroy it, and the crew quickly packs up and leaves the position. Another drone strikes, and yet another hit follows. The vehicle turned out to be a tough nut to crack, but after using 5 drones, the Ukrainian forces eventually managed to destroy it. The attempt at a combined assault using motorcycles and an APC ended in failure. A drone struck the tracks of the abandoned vehicle, making it unlikely the soldiers will be able to evacuate it easily. Nearby, a turtle tank was also hit by a drone, sharing the same fate as the APC. Another tank, reinforced with armor, was struck by the drone, sending its metal plates flying in all directions.